Hi, it's Juris and welcome to Tattoo Shop Talk. And today I want to talk about situation in England and about tattoo associations, alliances and whatever you call them, and how confused I am. First of all, tattoo industry and piercing industry in England is in a pretty bad situation right now because all the pandemic happened and is still happening, and many places in Europe are opening up slowly. God knows what's happening in States, it goes up and down and all the way. England was one of the last countries that shut down in Europe and they're still not open, at least in tattooing. And what's most upsetting is that there's the whole other industries are opening up, things like pubs. Things like people are allowed to go to beach, people are crowding streets like crazy, hairdressers are opening up slowly, while tattooing is still on kind of far end. As I'm recording this video, it's 9th of July, and only yesterday, which was 8th of July, there was some government person kind of starting to ask questions. What about this beauty industry? What about tattoos? What about piercings? And as we look around, tattooing is everywhere. It's a big part of life. It's probably also a big part of economy. While in England, nobody cares about it. And that's super upsetting. I know a lot of people who work in England, they work pretty hard, they open up their own shops, and now no one cares about them. And if you look up, they don't even have answers. They can reach out to local council says, we also don't know nothing, keep us updated. And that sucks for people who want to work and who want to work right way. Obviously there's other group of people who would work behind closed doors, who would do some home tattooing and all that stuff. That's a different group of people, but still this situation demotivates people who want to work hard and motivates those who don't care. And this is pretty weird situation because there's licensing for shops, there's licensing for tattoos, there's licensing for piercers, and it all costs money, but in situations like this, no one can get answers. Another weird thing to mention in England, for example, tattoo shops cannot work, piercing shops cannot work, but shops like Claire's Accessories, which is just general accessory shop, and they are allowed to do those gun piercings, which, talking globally, is not a great idea anyway, but somehow there was this loop in the system because that shop was open, they also could do piercings, while legit piercing shops where people are trained in how to do piercings, in how to avoid cross-contamination, how to do things proper and clean, they are still not allowed to do it. I hope things gonna change soon, and I hope by the time I edit this video this is gonna be over and I'm just gonna be ranting, or at least it's gonna be over soon. I have to say that I feel pretty blessed myself because I'm in Denmark and things are very organized here. Country shut down pretty quick, all the measures were taken, and country opened up pretty quick. There was some safety measures and recommendations, and we're working kind of on a similar capacity, maybe in a bit more organized kind of planned manner, but things are almost back to normal. And this is where my next confusion comes in, because in every country you work there's all these groups where everyone wants to organize their little association, their little alliance, their little group of like-minded individuals. And when those things get organized, it's kind of presented like this is for us, we will push our agenda, we will work together. And mostly it ends up in being some affiliate marketing type of a things. In some places as association you can get better deals because you like print out bulk leaflets or stickers or that kind of things. You get information a bit quicker about some seminars or maybe some updates from government. Some associations fight for like a higher standards and more like clean or more fair approach to industry. There's also some kind of unions that fight for standards, so like if you stick to our standards then you're kind of covered by our association, so if something happens we will step in because we have this common standard and you stick to the standard and you're part of us, so we are kind of one team. But at this time, when all the pandemic went down, nobody knew anything. Any alliance or association you look up, most you can get, they were reposting just updates from government or updates from news, so it wasn't anything specific. So either it be England or any other place, it's kind of very questionable what's the point of all those things. In Denmark I'm part of two associations. One is more like open to get more people in, other is you have to pay some fee. One is a bit more orientated on pushing like some affiliate marketing, like, oh, our association recommends this supplier, our association recommends this accountant, our association recommends this and that. And when you ask some opposing questions like when this will happen and why is this like that, then the answer from the main spokesperson you get like don't shoot the messenger. And other association is a bit older one, it's a bit more closed group with less members, also because it's a little membership fee. Pretty much it's the same thing. It's maybe a bit more kind of cozy and a bit more closed. You get some updates, you get some gatherings when you could have them. You have these stands on a convention. I heard in England about some associations and I was considering to be part of one, and which I liked about that one, at least they had the standards and they said if you stick to our standards and if you're part of our association and let's say something goes not as expected in a shop and someone wants to press charges, then if you're part of them, they'll step in with their information and they'll cover you. And what was good about that one, at least I heard they would kick some members out not to sticking to rules. So that also says something. But my confusion here is that in really important and stressful situations like this one, where people are really confused and some are really scared and they don't know what to do, and if they are part of these associations and you ask what's going on, all you get back is we don't know, we had no idea, we contacted all we could. And that raises a question how serious those associations are and how connected they are to kind of higher than average person like information sources. Because at this point, I'm not saying all of them, but they have not done any good in sort of informative matter and even less good in practical manner, where for instance of England no one have proved that this industry stands for these standards and maybe it's even more clean than potentially barbers or hairdressers, because you hear still people would sterilize barber knives with some sprays and then shave next person with it, not particularly going after barbers or anything, but it's just to prove what's the standards in industry and how clean it is and where in which shelf government should put it and decide to open it or keep it closed. I think you can see where I'm going with this. And at this point I want to ask you in which industry you are working, which industry you are connected to, and is there any institution that helped with information in terms of these crazy pandemic situations? Did that association or union or whatever you are part of got involved? Did it help government institutions understand what your industry is doing? How did it all went? How did it connected the pieces? And where you're at now? Share your thoughts on associations and institutions that helped in these crazy and stressful pandemic times. How did it go? How did it help you? And what's the general vibe? So leave that in comment section, and like always, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, press like, and see you in the future episodes. Bye!